And you guys are in for a treat today. We have Miss Debbie Pitts Palmer, superstar. She's got her own fan club up here up front. It's awesome. Of course, Shining Star Award nominee. So we're excited to hear from her today. And if she's not enough incentive to be here, which she is on her own, we are doing some giveaways at the end of the session today. That's what the tickets are for. We have plenty of tickets, so don't worry if you haven't gotten one yet. Just kind of let me know if you need a ticket. But before we actually do the drawing, we'll make sure everybody has a ticket. So don't stress. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Debbie. Thank you so much.
That works.
This is Debbie Pitts Palmer, DPP in the house. DPP for real. I am so glad to see you guys here. You could have chosen to be anywhere else, but you're here. I thank you for that. I gotta thank Cincy for giving me this opportunity to come here to tell you guys some things about what I've done with getting rid of these excuses. So in the meantime, well, first of all, I'm from Trussville, Alabama. I've been with Cincy for almost 10 years. And I want to share a little something with you guys. This is just something that I came across not long ago. Okay, here it is. One of my sources of inspiration is the ant. Why in the world is the ant my inspiration? When the ant colony is in need of food, they send out the scout. As the scout searches for the food, he leaves behind a scent. So the other ants can follow behind him. The scent guides the ant to bless the colony. Because of the way the ant uses the scent, he is the first Cincy consultant. Okay. You will find the ant at every picnic, every party, every fundraiser, and every event. The ant has no limit and he makes no excuses. The ant has been around for millions of years. The ant was around during the time the dinosaurs were around. They were bigger, faster, and stronger, but they are no longer here. Those little ants are still hanging around here. Ooh. Hurricanes couldn't wash them away. Earthquakes couldn't shake them away. Tornadoes couldn't blow them away. And the snowstorms couldn't freeze them away. The ants have no limits and they make no excuses. King Solomon was right. The ant is self-motivated and self-directed. And the ant was unstoppable, incredible, remarkable, unbelievable, and exceptional, and phenomenal. There are no excuses, no limits. I thought we were kind of funny about the ant. I don't know if you guys knew that. Okay. Okay, I started Cincy back in 2009, December, so I gave myself 4 excuses when I started Cincy. I signed up and got that kit, and here are the excuses that I told myself when I got that kit. 1, I had no time because of a full-time job. The second one is that I told myself I had no money to reinvest in this business. Number 3, no experience and no training. Number 4, family responsibilities. Okay, now, the biggest thing here, I want you guys to do this for me. I'm sure you guys have excuses that you told yourself as to why you can't work your business. I want you to take time now to write down every excuse you told yourself. Be honest. I'm going to come back and we're going to deal with that later, but write down all of your excuses that you told yourself. Okay? Now, one thing I've learned about excuses, they drain you of your confidence. They make you feel defeated. They create an atmosphere of doubt. Okay, so one thing we're going to do here is we're going to find ways to conquer those excuses that you told yourself. The first excuse that I told myself is that I didn't have time. Okay, so time management is what we got to deal with. Now, and one thing I've heard is always this old saying that you make time for the things that you love to do. You make those times. You make that time available. So, you know, we have, 24 hours in a day. So what I would do, I would wake up 1 hour early in the morning before going to work. And I would also work my business during my lunch hour. And then also when I come home from work, 4 hours. That's 6 hours a day, 30 hours a week. And I'm sure you guys are wondering, now, what did you do during those times? I'm glad you asked. Okay, so what I did, first thing in the morning, what I would do, I would wake up and check my messages, my Facebook messages, text messages, email messages, phone messages, all the messages. I'm checking all those things. And something else I do, I wake up in the morning, I look for inspirational things because I need something to inspire me. First thing in the morning, I take that same information, I take it and share it with my team members. That's what I do with that 1 hour in the morning. And during lunch hour, I'm still following up, checking to see who's reaching out to me and try to see if I can reach back out. So when I get home, what I'm doing is trying to do all I can to help with training with my team, trying to get prepared for events, things of that nature. So that's how I work, that's how I break through that no time situation. And thank God for the smartphone. You guys, I'm sure everybody here have a smartphone. I don't think anybody has a flip phone. So if you got a smartphone, it's smart for a reason because it gives you the ability to do things with the phone. I work my business with my phone, probably about 70% of the time things are done with that telephone. I'm always on the go. Because working like I do and taking care of all the things I have to take care of, time is very important to me, so I got to do all I can with that telephone. Okay, so the next thing I told myself is that I didn't have money to reinvest in my business. So did you guys know that you don't have to reinvest once you purchase that kit? Did you know you don't have to use money? Did you know that, guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so let me tell you some of the things that I did when I got my kit. It's so funny how you find yourself becoming creative when you don't have any money. So what I did, I worked my first event with my kit. I worked my first home party with that kit. Now, I remember the very first home party that I worked. This was 30 days after I worked, after I became a consultant with Cincy. My first home party was an $1,100 party. 2 people joined my team. I don't even know why, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to help them. Like, why y'all want to join my team? So that happened, guys, within the first 30 days of being with Cincy. So I had no money. I didn't have to. And the first event that I worked, as a matter of fact, as you can see right there, that was my first home show. As you can see, I'm holding up a warmer. And the reason why you see more than one warmer there, because there were a total of 8 of us there. Each one of us brought out one warmer from our kit. Each one of us brought one warmer from the kit to that show, and we got pretty creative. We took pictures and downloaded pictures and uploaded the pictures and hung them in the booth. So that's what we had. We had a kit, a handful of warmers, and we had a booth there, and we talked to people about joining our team, and we asked them to place orders. We got one person join that team. We didn't know what we were doing. But, we took that chance. And you also see the first catalog. That's the catalog that I had when I joined Cincy. And as you can see here in that first picture there, there's Jeannie Morehouse. And the reason why I pointed that out is because I remember when I started looking for shows, there was one show that I came across, and they said, well, you can't work this show because there's another person there. And I asked who that person is. I'm just like that. Who is it? And they told me it was Jeannie Morehouse. I said, okay, where does she live? So they didn't tell me that part. But anyway, I looked that up myself. So then I can remember, okay, put my name on the list just in case she changed your mind in the future. So as time passed, I remember needing some help. And I remember reaching out to my superstar director, Colette. I said, Colette, I need some help. She said, okay, she's so sweet. Okay, you need some help. I'll come help you. So she came all the way to Alabama to help my team. And of course, Andrew Williams, I asked her to bring Andrew with her. So that's why you see them in the picture right there. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me try to go to the next page. Okay, so, the no experience part. I thought I was going to have to know. This is the first time I've worked in this type of business. Even though I worked at State Farm for 35 years, this is totally different. So I'm thinking, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where the training is going to come from. But I'm like, okay, now I went in the workstation. There was a trainer. I said, duh, DPP, duh, you got a workstation. So I started watching the training videos. I watched the training videos all the time. And then I took it a step further. I started watching YouTube channels. I started following various leaders, superstar directors, star directors, directors, and consultants in general. And the reason why I was focusing so much on superstar directors because I knew at some point I wanted to be that. I want to be that, so I need to find out what they're doing. So I followed those consultants. Now that last thing that I told myself is that was one of my challenges was family responsibilities. It's pretty tough, being a mother of 2, grandmother of 2, caregiver of 4 at the time, working a full-time job. Like, how in the world am I gonna make that fit? How in the world can I put that into my situation because of all these challenges that I have, that I face? So anyway, you know, we are the CEO of our business. So since we're the CEO of our business, you get to choose a board of directors. So my board of directors are my daughter, my son, my nephew, and my brother. Most of you probably know my brother Jeff. If you're on the director's page, I share it often, my daughter. So each of them have responsibilities. My daughter makes my samples. My nephew, he helps to load for events. My brother label everything. He's my barman. He keeps my bars straight. He gets upset when I go in there and rearrange those bars. So each one of them have a responsibility. My daughter gets upset when I go in there and rearrange something that she's done. She does all my signs. They work events with me. So all my events, you'll see my family just kind of going along. So it gives us a chance to bond and connect so it doesn't separate me from my family. My son lives in a whole nother state, but he knows he's got to be over there recruiting for me. I've got a whole set of team members in New Mexico. That's where my son lives. I contact him and say, who you got I can talk to now? So, you know, there's always something going on with my family members. My grandbabies, she's got Cincy buddies everywhere, and I take pictures. So I got my whole entire family involved in this business. So that's how you make that work. And you don't separate yourself from your family, because sometimes they get upset with you. They get mad with Cincy. They ain't gonna like Cincy because they think you're taking the time away from them. So what you do, you incorporate your family into your business. Okay, so, anyway, so we kind of covered the no time because of the full-time job, my situation, no money, we covered that, we covered no experience, no training, we covered the family responsibilities. Okay, so the next thing is what I want to go over with you guys. Okay, I had a major problem come up, a major problem. How in the world do you bounce back from a major setback? How do you do that? Because I came into that. That's what happened to me. After several years of working with Cincy, I would think sometime around 2014, I had been with the business probably about 5 years. Then all of a sudden, I built this business of about 300 plus team members. And all of a sudden, I went down to 100 team members. That was painful. Can you imagine building a business where you build up to 300 plus people, all of a sudden you drop down to 100 people? How do you deal with that? It was depressing. I felt like I was going to lose my mind up in here. I wanted to take that kit and throw it away. I want nothing else to do with Cincy. And then all of a sudden, like, okay, DPP, you're not a quitter, you're not a failure. At that point, I said, okay, you are going to become a girlfriend, you're going to become a superstar director someday. That's what I said to myself. So what you got to do, you got to start doing things differently. So that's when I started doing things differently. I had to start having those conversations with myself, those motivational speeches to myself. I had to keep speaking that to myself. You know, when you speak stuff into the universe, stuff happens. You know, I always tell people, when you speak it, you claim it, and you go on and do what you need to do to make it happen. But I find that when people say, well, I can't do that, I might do that, I think I'm going to do that. As long as you say that, it's not going to happen. I remember the first 2 years of being with Cincy, guys, I did not earn a trip. I did not earn annual sales. I did not earn annual mentor the first 2 years. And the reason why I didn't is because when I saw those numbers, like 30,000 PRV, annual sales, oh, I can't do that. I ain't even try. I just looked at the numbers like, I can't do that. Okay, then with the annual mentor, when I saw that, I said, can't do that either, so I ain't going to be trying to do that either. Then when I saw the first incentive trip for Disney, I saw those points, like, can't do that either. And guess what? I ain't do none of it. Because I had already said I couldn't do it. But the very moment that I said to myself what I was going to do, things changed. I remember when my son had surgery in 2012, I was not at the reunion that year. So guys, you want to make sure you go to all the reunions. That's the only one I missed. But I missed that one for that reason. And I remember them making the announcement about going to Greece was an option there. You have to be in the top 100. I was sitting with my son and I said to myself, Seth, you going to Greece. I didn't even know how I was going to go, didn't know what the qualifications were, didn't have a clue. But guess what? I went to Greece. I claimed it. You claim that and you make that stuff happen. I just knew, I said, once I saw what was required of me, I said, I'm going to do it. I didn't care what it was. And I thought all those other times I kept saying to myself, oh, I can't do that. And I didn't. So it's all about what you speak, how you feel about that situation. Okay, so Anyway, so as I started to do things, once I claimed that I wanted to become a superstar director, I knew then at that point I had to start doing some things. So I joined the Accelerated Leadership Program that Cincy has. Because I knew in order for me to grow, I had to go and learn more. In order for me to pour into my team members, I had to find a way to get things poured into me. So I started the directors, what did I say? Yeah, okay, so I had to join that. And then after that, I reached out to some other leaders and found out that there were some programs that could help my team members. So I put that program together, and during that time, I was able to help other leaders develop as I developed. We kind of did this thing together. So you know what, sometimes we feel like a failure, but here's a quote from Oprah Winfrey. Okay, I'll go back to that. I want to show you this. Okay, here's a quote from Oprah Winfrey. She said, "There is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in a whole nother direction." And this is something that I kind of forgot to go back to long. That was, anyway, right here where it says conquer no money. I forgot to hit the slide. But this picture shows a picture of my sponsor, my first team member, and my daughter. Take a look at that setup, guys. What do you think about that? See, that was a no money situation. No talent either. Because that setup was horrible. It was a hot mess. And you know what? And we were there for over 4 or 5 hours at that event. They had about, maybe about 1,000 people that came through that event. We sold 1 warmer and 1 bar the whole time. And we were all dressed up. You see how dressed up we were? We were ready, had our Scentsy pins on and everything. My daughter dressed up in purple. But look at that table, it was a hot mess. And I remember when one of my new team members came up, she said, "Girl, I'm going to tell you why nobody bought anything." She said that table was a hot mess. Look at that table. I mean, a warmer in the center, bars just kind of thrown down there. Each one of us brought out 1 warmer from our kit. My sponsor was awesome. But it was the presentation. The presentation is everything. Even if you don't have but just 1 or 2 things, it's everything. And I didn't have a clue. I mean, I don't decorate. I copy like crazy. But I didn't have nobody to copy at that time. So all I had was my own imagination, which I didn't have much. But it worked out fine. But see, I didn't give up. I kept going. I said, okay, this thing's got to get better. I said, it's got to be something else that I could do. So. And then after that, okay, so I went to my first convention. It was called Convention then, now it's SFR. I went to that in Denver, and as you can see, this was in Denver. That's my sponsor in the middle, and that's me on the side. My sponsor was a husband and wife team. As a matter of fact, my sponsor's deceased. He was one of my biggest inspirations. He's my cheerleader. Every time something would go on well, he'd go on my Facebook and say, we're going to take this to the top. He kept saying, we're going to take it to the top. All that stuff. He said, people don't even understand this business, and this is just too simple. He would always say that to me. I miss him so much. And then I went to a boot camp. As you can see, my sponsor, his wife, she went with me to my boot camp. We had so much fun. And my team and I, we work a lot of events, so I got some very creative team members. As you can see, they picked me up. I didn't know if I was going to fall or not, but it was so fun. So we have a lot of fun at our events. So just kind of give you a feel of what's going on with me and what we do with my business. So here's my family involved. And here, I missed a lot of stuff. This is my family. I'm like, wait, I'm trying to go back. This is my family here. As you can see, my family, my daughter, my nephew, my brother, even my grandbaby. She's full of buddies in the bed. That's my son right there holding a Scentsy bar like he calling somebody. My daughter's sitting there doing the math, kind of calculating everything, and she just likes to do her own stuff. So that's my whole family involved in my business. And then here, okay, going here. I hope I'm on track. Okay, anyway, guys, as I started that program with the directors in training, I want to give you another quote. This is from Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth said, "You just cannot beat a person that never gives up. Can't beat that person. And if you find somebody that's never going to give up, you cannot beat that person." So that's something that I always remember. Now, here are a few things I just want to go over with you guys before that you see. I'm going to give you guys to give you feedback on what your excuses are. Okay, I have to say this. With excuses, I refuse to let excuses beat me, destroy me, depress me, conquer me, bind me, restrict me, or limit me. I am a superstar director. I have a team of over 500 team members, and they are totally awesome, and they are rocking it. So that's what you guys can do. You claim it, and you can totally get there. So what I want you to do now, for those of you who have your excuses out, I want you to chat among each other right now. I'll give you a few minutes, and then I want each, whatever little rows that you come together and, get in some little groups if you like to share your excuses. We want to hear what those excuses are, because what we're here today to do is to try to see how we can help you overcome your excuses. So I give you like a few minutes to just chat amongst each other, and we're going to come in and see how we're going to deal with busting up those excuses. I'll give you like 5 minutes.
What's your excuse to you?
Oh my gosh, I'm shy.
Oh yeah, that's the excuse. No.
Oh, what are you doing to work on that, ma'am? I don't know what my excuse is, but I'll tell you what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to work on connecting with my team more. What else? 2 other things. Connecting with my team. You're making me forget. Okay, what else did I say? Connecting with my team. Oh, follow-up. And there was one other thing. I think it's a lot I can do, like organizing my business.
That's where I'm at. Organizing. I need to really work on that.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
I got stuff everywhere.
And what I mean, like, not even just like that I need to do too. But I don't know, like I'm trying to find my thing. Like I want to focus, I think, on fundraisers. I think that's where my heart is kind of leading, because you can still help people for some reason. Care about these boogers around here. So I want to kind of find my niche and kind of pour myself into that. Events and fundraising. I'm not going to stop doing events. Sorry, I didn't get pictures on this video. We can load them in the comments. But I don't know what kind of excuses I have. I just want a better relationship. Like my team, like they don't say anything on the page.
I mean, like, let's say take it to the time. Only person talking is that. But we listen, right?
We do. But I do a video on my team like every day. And some of them still work. Some of them still, they do stuff. So I'm like, I guess I shouldn't stress about it, because they just don't communicate very much. So, like, it was just like identifying your superstars. I don't know if I know how. Like, they don't really say anything.
I don't talk that much. I have some that talk, and I wish they showed up. And I have some that.
So that's my goal. I'm trying to get my, like I told Patsy, I was like, you got people on the team, so, but she's not ready to kind of branch off on her, but I was just like, on my group page, it's a little easier to reach. I think they might communicate on that page because it's less people on there than on the travel set page. I think maybe. But she's got about 8 people on there. So.
And I was wearing a dress that's rose flowers in it. Like that color. Rose gold. Oh. And white necklace. Way over there. I know.
I looked over there too. Was she talking about her own ears? Was she talking about her
Okay,
ears?
guys, are you ready? Okay, time up. Okay,
I'm a slide.
let's see. We're gonna start on the left side first.
I'm a slide.
So who wants to tell us their excuse? Over here. Who wants to start? Right here.
Hi. Hello, my name is Amy. I'm from Wyoming. I live in a very small town of less than 5,000 people, and I do not recruit locally because I am afraid that there are too many consultants in my area and that they won't be able to get the sales and not be able to be supportive and grow. So I don't ask locally, and I really should.
Okay, this is what I tell people when I say that. Oh my gosh, I deal with that pretty often. And this is what I always do. Those same people in your area, each person knows somebody different than you know. That person's gonna know somebody different, and so on and so on. And not only that, I say, okay, let's do this. How many people in your area? How many? Okay, if you're in a county, or if you're in a city, if you're in a city, in a county, in a state, in the United States, all those people that you can talk to about joining your team. So it doesn't matter if it's right in your area. It doesn't matter if it's the person next door to you. So just ask everybody. It doesn't matter how close you are to the next person. Does that answer your question? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, good. Okay, right here.
I think our biggest excuse has been two. One, I don't have time, and two, I'm not good enough to do this.
Yes. I've heard that one pretty often. Yeah, one, we talked about the time management situation. And what I do, when I run into somebody that says that, I try to find somebody that can mimic that situation pretty much, like in my case, I give somebody my example. This is what I do. I have a full-time job. I take care of my family. As a matter of fact, my mom doesn't drive, so I have to pay all her bills, buy all her groceries. My brother, who I take care of, he doesn't drive. Take him to the doctor. My nephew doesn't drive. I had to take him to the doctor. My daughter, thank God, she's driving now. So, but before she was driving, I literally would leave home at 6:30 in the morning, drop her off at school, go to work. We didn't get home like 9 o'clock at night. I packed my car. We worked the Cincy business from the car. Pack snacks in the car. Work with my phone. So, we talked about whatever it is that you really enjoy, you make time for it. What was the other thing you said? Something else you said?
That I'm not good enough to make the trips. I'm not good enough to be out there selling something. And that's self-doubt inside us.
Right. And that's another thing I deal with. I dealt with that for a minute at the beginning. So I started watching inspirational, motivational tapes. Things like that to kind of help you to feel good about who you are. It took me 6 years, guys, to do a video. I do a lot of videos now. DPP coming to you live. I just started that stuff I just started a few years ago. I hadn't always done that. It took me a long time to build that confidence. But, when you have those issues, you just got to go out there and do it. And a lot of people don't do it because they feel like they need to be perfect. And people are going to judge them because they're not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes. I'm real goofy. And on my videos, I'm real goofy. But people like that. They feel like, if you're like that, maybe I can do this. So I think a lot of times people, they're too hard on themselves, and just go do it is what I say. And that's what I do. I just go do it. Whatever makes you feel good. And people out there watching you, they're thinking, oh my gosh, I can do it. If she's goofy, I can do it. So yeah, that's how I dealt with that.
Thank you.
Hi.
So my husband and I were a one-car family, and he drives it 99.9% of the time to get to work, about 37, 38 miles away. So I never have the car to get to anywhere that I need to be.
Okay. So transportation is your problem. Guess what you got, girlfriend? You got a website. You can copy and paste stuff, do videos. Okay, So this is what I say always, because I run into that pretty often. If you're on Facebook, you're on social media, you're gonna be able to branch out on social media. You know, I don't know if you feel like doing videos yet, but you can be a copy and paste queen with your website. And that's what I do a lot. You can do that via text, you can do it via Facebook message. I mean, there's so many different ways. Even if you don't feel good about being on Facebook Live, there's so many little videos you can do, like Animato and things like that. I see a lot of consultants out there doing videos on YouTube using that. Have you ever seen that? Yeah, that's another way that you can get yourself out there. There are Facebook Live parties you can do. There are events you can do on Facebook. There are Scent Circle fundraisers that everybody's talking about. You can do things like that. You probably never thought about any of that stuff. See there? Okay, there's the answer for you right there. Right. I think it's called Animato, is that right? Animoto. See, I be messing up already. I'm messing up on that too. So there it is right there. So anybody else in this section right here? 2. And 1 right here. Hi.
Hi, the fear of failure.
Okay. I've had that fear before. And I think that goes back to that confidence and feeling good about who you are. So I always say you never know. I've had team members that say, well, you know what? I don't know if I want to go to the next level because I may not be able to maintain that. When I hear that, I say, you need to go on and do it. Because it's something about being where you need to be, where you think you ought to be, and you're going to make sure you stay there. So I don't have the fear. When I promoted to superstar director, I wasn't sure if I could maintain the title. I wasn't even worried about that. Just get me there. Get me there, and I'll figure out the rest later. So that's the way you got to think. Just get you there. And it's going to make you feel some kind of way once you get there. Oh, I think it was one of the person.
There was. I just didn't know.
Right there?
I'm not good at the techie stuff, like the PhotoFi or the Canva or like Snapchat. Well, I can Snapchat, but you have to swipe up and put your I don't know where to start.
I don't either, girlfriend. I don't know that stuff either. You better. Let me tell you how you deal with that. You find somebody else to partner with that can. So that's what I do. A lot of stuff I don't know how to do. I can name so many people here now that I've copied from. And I say, I don't know how to do that. Or they'll do it for me and then they'll walk me through it and teach me how to do it. I didn't learn how to copy and paste until I started this business. I didn't have a clue about how to copy and paste. But I've learned it. So what you do, YouTube videos, there are a lot of help. There are a lot of YouTube how-to videos out there, or you can find somebody that can help walk you through it. Here's the thing about, this is what I found out about Scentsy. A lot of people are afraid to ask for help. You got to ask for help if you need it. I am not afraid to ask for help, guys. I remember when I went to my first convention in Denver, I remember wanting to meet Denny Morehouse because I wanted to get that show she was working, and I told her all about it. So I sat in my chair, and when she walking across the stage as superstar director, as soon as she walked across the stage, I got up out of my chair, I ran down there to meet her. She didn't know who I was. I bet she thought I was some kind of real crazy woman. But I was so determined to meet her because I wanted to see what I need to do to learn how to work events. So you got to ask for help. Oh, right here. You've got about 12 minutes left. Okay.
The other thing I say is when it takes off the part of I'm not good enough, it's I'm not good enough for my team.
I've had that happen too. I've actually had people be upset with me because they didn't think I knew enough to help them. One thing I learned about this business is that it's your own business. It says start your own business, your business. So that means you're responsible for making your business be successful. We're here to be a coach and a guide. So I can very well say that my sponsor was not a good sponsor because she couldn't teach me. But I love my sponsor. We joined at the same time, so we couldn't help each other. It's like the blind leading the blind. But I decided to take it a step further. I said, okay, I'm going to learn this. I need to go out here and teach myself. I couldn't blame her for my failure or my success. Because this business, it is so easy to just, as long as you follow directions, like you know how to read, you can work a Scentsy business. I mean, and I always tell people to smell that sale, but it's a real, and I'm I don't like to read, guys. I don't read. But I watch the videos. I remember when I first put together some programs for my team members for them to read when they first joined. I learned that they weren't reading either. So I had to start putting some videos together, and they started watching the videos. So you find what works, is what I did. And sometimes you try this, well, that don't work. Try something else. I hope that answers the question.
My problem is that my daughter brought me in, and she's been doing it for a number of years, and all of my friends are already her customers. So there's the mother guilt about, well, they're my friends, and how do I take them back from her, and I shouldn't. So how to step out of that circle and find other people.
Okay, are you working home parties? How do you approach your business?
I literally just started.
Okay, when did you sign up?
In May. I was
awesome.
coming here as a guest. I was coming here as a guest.
Oh, congratulations.
And then that $15 thing came in, and I said, well, okay, but my husband and I had a number of things, and she said, well, that's okay, Mom, because even after family reunion, you got 1 month to get that first BRP in, and we'll figure it out. But I'm trying to figure out how to figure it out without, well, they were my friends, so they should be mine now.
Okay. So you're trying to figure out how to get outside that circle. One of the things that I did when I signed on with Cincy, I found that people that I knew really didn't support me. My family members, my friends, church members, you name it, they weren't buying from me. So I had to find another way to approach my business. So I literally just got out. I used to go in stores and hang out in stores. I did. I used to go and hang out in the fragrance aisle. I would go in the parking lots, waiting on people to come out. I remember one time somebody told me this. They said, you know what? I know where you can find some customers. There's a strip club on Friday night. They love fragrances. So I got my team member. We went to the strip club. We took our kid and we sat up at the bar and we got some orders sitting in the strip club. I wouldn't do that now, but I did. So, it's amazing to see when you're hungry. I have to tell my team, you stay hungry. When you stay hungry, you're going to find a way to make this work. And even now, I stay hungry. So I found creative ways to get out there, to meet new people. I used to go to car dealerships, hair salons, barbershops. There's so many places to go out there and meet people. And I don't know how you are about events, but you can use your kit. Well, you got $15 kit, you got to buy some stuff. Oh, okay. So anyway, I mean, there's right around this time, you got fundraisers, you can go to schools. There's so many different ways to meet people. You got to just go out and meet people. Go to coffee shops, go to McDonald's, places like that, and just hang out. I would just go to places like that and make my samples. People are nosy. So get them something to smell while they're sitting there watching what you do. So it's amazing. Oh my gosh, you're watching what I do. Come on over here and see what I got. So anybody else? Anybody else? Oh.
Got a microphone. One thing that I struggle with very much is the anxiety that comes from being overwhelmed. And now that I have people, team members underneath me, I feel like a complete fraud. So I'm battling having to talk myself out of making excuses to not work and get better at my business.
You have team members. How many do you have now?
2 right now.
Hey, yay. So you feel a bit overwhelmed, you said, because you're not a team, you feel lost, you don't know how to guide them, is that what it is? Or
yes.
You having trouble? Okay. Are you connected with various groups on Facebook?
A few, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I would start with, like in my case, I just went to start watching YouTube videos of other leaders to see what they're doing. And now, sometimes you have to find something outside of Cincy. I have mentors outside of Cincy. People who, it could be somebody in leadership position somewhere else. Go to some leadership training. It doesn't have to be something you physically go to, but even on On social media, there are other people out there who are leaders. You may want to do something like that to help you. You trying to struggle with being a leader. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to help guide them. But you guys are growing together. You'd be surprised to see how much you can help each other. I mean, I have brand new team members that I learned from. I'm like, oh my gosh, you ought to be my sponsor. I mean, so you'd be surprised, just get with them and find out what it is that they're sharp in, that area that they're strong in, and you guys can kind of work together. Okay. Anybody else? Oh. You got some good questions. I love it. Oh, or excuses.
This is kind of
Okay.
in line of like a lot of the quick statements already been. Mine is like, I'll get team members underneath me and I'll give them everything that I've learned on my own because I didn't have a sponsor that well, and so they drop, and so it's like I feel like a failure then because I feel like they're not staying. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And so it's like I don't want to go out and give more because then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fail them. So.
Okay, all of us go through that. I don't know how many times I've gone through that. What I found is that the answer to that is to keep on sponsoring because people join for various reasons. So what you do, you find out why did they join? Find out what their why is. And you can't feel like you're a failure because they decide that they don't want to do anything with it. I do recruit a lot. I do recruit a whole lot of people. So a lot of them stay, some of them don't. But you can't beat up on yourself if they don't because their whys may not be strong as yours. So the answer to that is to keep on sharing. Keep sharing opportunity because it's not your fault. It is not your fault. You can do all you can do, but you're going to always find somebody that's not going to feel like you're doing enough. I mean, I've had people in the past to just get upset because they felt like I was doing too much. I mean, I had team members say, why are you emailing me at 2 o'clock in the morning? Stuff like that. So it's going to be somebody you're not going to satisfy. So the answer to that is to keep on sharing. It is not you. And great job. Anybody else? We out of time now, right? Are we out of time?
We have 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay. Anybody else? Right here.
So I love Scentsy so much that I have a problem with my stock. I like to order more and more, so I have a problem with getting rid of it or even wanting to let some of it go.
Is the obsession?
I do.
What are you obsessed with the most? What do you buy the most?
Warmers.
Oh, warmers.
I love wax. I have wax out.
But you buy more warmers than wax? Oh. Okay, do you work events? Do you work events?
I've done a few. So
You plan on working
more?
Okay, it's a good idea to work. So you're trying to find a way to part with those, or you what?
I'm trying to find a way with myself to be able to part with them because I order the stuff that I like. Because I don't want to be stuck with stuff that I don't like. So I don't
Oh.
stuff that I
That's smart. So you may not want to sell what you have, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I can't keep doing that though because I can see it over, like taking over my office.
Oh wow. Have you thought about having a open house?
I've had a couple of those too.
Okay. But I'm trying to see how to answer that one because you don't want to part with those.
I'm just trying to see how I can change my train of thought to wanting to part with all these warmers.
Okay. What is your Scentsy why? Why did you join Scentsy?
To be able to do more with my family.
Okay. You want to increase your income. Okay. So with wanting to increase your income, are you into wanting a team build? Do you have a team?
I had a team of 2 and they left off.
So it's just you right now? Okay. Do you want to in the future team build?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your why right there. So since that's your why, take those same products that you have an open house, find some show and fairs, things like that. Because once you start finding a way of moving that, then you're not going to feel like you so attached to those things once they start leaving you. But I would just say start doing more. Start trying to build your team. And then maybe you guys can do things together. Get your team together. You can work events together. That's what I do. I work events with my team. So maybe when you can do something like that, it'll help you feel good about parting with those warmers.
So you say you have a lot of team in New Mexico. I'm out of Albuquerque.
You in Albuquerque?
Yes.
I'm gonna be there this month.
Awesome. Well,
So
maybe we can
send me a
get
message
together.
and I'm gonna have a little team meeting, so send me a message. I'll be there like the last Saturday in this month. We're gonna meet up.
I would like to meet up with your team.
Okay, awesome. Got a minute. We got one right here. Right here. Got 1 minute.
Hi. I've been in it for 4 years, and it took me a while to build a team. Last year I got up to 25.
Woo!
But I've gotten a lot of drama on my team page and between consultants, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this. And it really deflated me. It really put me down in the dumps where I didn't even want to recruit anymore because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. So that was, it was very, very hard, and I'm still trying to bounce back from that.
Oh, I know. I understand that because I've been there myself. What you want to do at the very top of your page, you want to put the purpose of your page. Do you have anything like that on there?
Oh, yes.
You have that?
Activity at all. Like it's basically my team page now is just for information only. Try and keep personal stuff off of the team page.
Absolutely. That's what you want to do. You want to set the tone and let them know what is accepted over here, what's not accepted, and when is something that they keep doing repeatedly. I mean, you got to deal with that. So I would take if it's something negative for the first time, I remove it and send them a private message and tell them why you removed it. And that's how you deal with that. I've had that every now and then, but once you deal with it, it should take care of it. But I wouldn't tolerate that. And don't feel bad about it if it's not your fault.
It's gotten to the point where I've got one of my downline that says you can't talk to any of my recruits. So it's actually separated my team.
Oh, that's horrible.
So, but you know what? I will get it back together. I'm working towards it, and it's taken me a year right now, but I've just recruited 8 more people this year.
You know, the team members I was telling you guys that I lost, a lot of that was because of that. You got to come back. You're going to be fine. Just keep on sharing and just keep rebuilding. That's what, don't pay a whole lot of attention to that. Don't let that get you down. You're doing a great job.
Cardi B clout chasers.
Okay, guys. Looks like we got some goodies to come along, right? We got some goodies here.
Let's give Debbie a hand. What a great